this. Your opponent's pawn is sitting right there, ready to become a queen. I mean, on the surface, this game looks over. It feels absolutely impossible to win. But what if I told you that this position isn't just salvageable, it's a forced win?
So how do we pull off this incredible magic trick? Well, we have a 5-part plan. First, we'll understand the race against that pawn. Then, we're going to cage the enemy king. After that, we unleash our knight, spring a beautiful little trap, and finally, we'll cruise to victory.
All right, first up, the race against promotion. We've got to face this danger head-on.
You see, that pawn is a ticking time bomb. If it promotes without any consequences, we're just done for. So, our entire strategy revolves around this one really brilliant idea. We're not just going to stop the pawn, we're going to use its promotion against our opponent. Yep, their greatest strength is about to become their fatal flaw.
Okay, let's get practical. How does this actually work? It starts with caging the king, and for this, our rook is going to do all the heavy lifting.
The whole thing kicks off with a forcing check, something like rook to a8. This isn't just a random move, it's a command. We're telling the enemy king exactly where we want it to go. Now, black will probably feel pretty good about pushing the pawn to a2. But that's fine. We just keep using our rook to push, to guide, to shepherd that king right into the corner where we want him.
And this is exactly why we're doing it. The goal here is all about geometry. By forcing that king onto the A file, we shrink its world down to almost nothing. We're not just attacking, we are meticulously building a prison, and we're setting the stage perfectly for our secret weapon to deliver the final blow.
And that brings us to Section 3, the art of the knight. Now that the cage is built, it is time to let our trickiest, most creative piece join the party.
So the knight just dances into the fight, right? It's heading for these key squares where it can control everything. In response, you'll often see the black king retreat to a8, trying to snuggle up next to its pawn. It thinks it's found a safe harbor, while it hasn't.
I love this part, because it really highlights the difference between how things look and how they really are. Black thinks they're safe, you know? The king is tucked away, ready to welcome its new queen, but the tactical reality? It's a nightmare for them. That king is trapped on a tiny battlefield, and it's now perfectly vulnerable to all the knight's sneaky forks and lethal checks.
And this all leads us to the most dramatic moment of the whole endgame, the promotion trap. Everything we've done has been building up to this exact moment.
And then it happens. Your opponent makes the move they've been dreaming about all game. The pawn gets to the end of the board, and it becomes a queen.
The board is just screaming defeat at you. A brand new, powerful queen is on the board. It feels like the plan has completely fallen apart. Did we mess up? Did we miscalculate somewhere?
No, this was the plan all along. This isn't their moment of triumph. This is our trap.
Because now we strike. With the king and that new queen perfectly positioned, our knight leaps to a6, delivering a decisive check. Knight to a6, check.
You see, this is the pivot. This single move is what the entire game turns on. That knight check forces the king to move away, and in doing so, it exposes the brand new queen. It's just sitting there now, undefended and totally helpless.
Okay, now for the final act, securing the victory. The hard part is officially over. It's time to collect our prize.
With the black king forced out of the way, our knight simply takes the queen, just like that. The single biggest threat on the entire board is gone in one clean, tactical shot.
There's actually a cool term for this concept. It's called a tactical liability. It just means that black's big moment of triumph, getting that queen, is the very thing that created the fatal weakness. The queen landed on a square where it was immediately vulnerable, turning their greatest hope into their ultimate downfall.
And from here, the path is crystal clear. You have a massive material advantage. Your rook and knight absolutely dominate the board. The goal now is just to simplify, trade down if you can, and just steer the game toward a simple technical checkmate. The impossible has become inevitable.
So, we've walked through the entire thing, from what looked like total desperation to complete domination. Now that you've seen how this beautiful trap is sprung, what do you think is the single most important move to remember? Is it that initial rook check that builds the prison, or is it the final, stunning knight check that springs the trap? Ponder that, and you'll have truly mastered the art of this endgame.